Welcome, dear viewers, to a world where darkness and mysticism meet in the creepiest forms. Here, in this abandoned corner of the internet, we will delve into the darkest corners of the human imagination. Prepare for awe-inspiring horror, as each of our stories is imbued with sinister secrets that lurk in the darkness of the night. Scary stories that remain beyond your imagination are waiting for you on our channel. Don't forget to turn on the lights, get comfortable, and hold on tight, because now we are going into the world of nightmares. Are you ready for it? Then welcome to our scary story.
The air hung heavy with an unsettling stillness as darkness blanketed the city. An ominous silence whispered through the alleyways, foreboding and pregnant with secrets. It was a world shrouded in mystery, a realm where fear lurked in the shadows, waiting patiently to reveal its horrific face. Detective Samuel Blake, a seasoned investigator with a weathered soul and sharp mind, had faced countless cases, each with its own brand of malevolence. Yet, the string of recent gruesome crimes had sent shivers down his spine, something insidious stirring in the depths of his being. Tonight, as a bone-chilling mist slithered through the narrow passages of the city, Samuel stood at the precipice of a new investigation. He could feel it, the pulse of fear that had taken hold of the town. The city seemed abandoned, as if the very walls held their breath in fear. The dim streetlights cast eerie, elongated shadows that danced with each gust of wind. The distant howl of a lone wolf only added to the ominous ambiance. Samuel walked, his footsteps echoing like distant heartbeats in the hollow, empty streets. He approached an alleyway, its depths seemingly endless. A chill ran down his spine as if unseen eyes bore into his soul. Hesitating for a moment, he summoned the courage and plunged into the darkness. The alley was a twisted maze of decay and desolation. Graffiti adorned the walls like gory murals, depicting scenes of violence and despair. The stench of decay and dampness hung in the air, clinging to Samuel's nostrils. As he pressed forward, a rustle echoed from the shadows, causing him to grip the handle of his gun with a tightening resolve. He peered into the darkness, heart pounding, mind racing. And there, lurking in the shadows, he caught a glimpse of movement, a figure, malevolent and shrouded in darkness. In an instant, Samuel felt a presence behind him, a breath on the nape of his neck. He whirled around, but there was nothing, just the cold emptiness of the alley. The oppressive silence felt suffocating, and beads of sweat formed on his brow. He turned back, eyes scanning the darkness once more. The figure had vanished, leaving only the echoes of a macabre laughter. The detective's hand trembled as he wiped the sweat from his forehead, trying to shake off the gnawing unease. As he retraced his steps, he felt a shiver down his spine. The sinister aura of the place clung to him, refusing to let go. He vowed to uncover the truth, to delve into the abyss, and confront the darkness that had taken root in the heart of the city. The hunt had begun, and Detective Samuel Blake was determined to face the malevolent force that had plunged the city into its darkest hour. But as the shadows whispered their ominous secrets, he knew that this battle would test his very soul, and the line between reality and nightmare would blur as the terror deepened. Detective Samuel Blake delved deeper into the abyss, determined to unravel the enigma that gripped the city. The labyrinth of darkness was intricate, a puzzle crafted by a demented mind. He studied the crime scenes with a meticulous eye, seeking patterns and connections that would illuminate the malevolent workings of the deranged serial killer. The first crime scene was a macabre theater of horror. A desolate warehouse, abandoned by time, served as the stage for the grotesque acts. The walls bore witness to the atrocities, crimson splatters of blood, like grotesque brushstrokes on a canvas of dread. The victims, their faces contorted in agony, told the tale of unfathomable suffering. Samuel took a deep breath, steeling himself against the visceral onslaught of the scene. He meticulously analyzed the evidence, piecing together the intricate puzzle of the madman's methodology. Each detail revealed a glimpse into the twisted psyche of the killer. Days turned into nights as the detective tirelessly sifted through the information. He consulted informants, seeking whispers from the underbelly of the city. Dark corners and shadowy figures became his allies, feeding him morsels of information about the deranged perpetrator. The name, the Crimson Phantom, emerged from the shadows, a moniker that sent shivers down the spines of those who dared to speak it. The killer's motives were shrouded in mystery, but patterns began to emerge. The victims were carefully chosen, their lives entwined in a complex web. Samuel discovered a common thread. Each victim had, at some point, crossed paths with a particular charity organization. A sickening revelation unfolded. The killer seemed to harbor a twisted sense of retribution against the perceived sins of society. The detective also discerned the sadistic methods employed by the Crimson Phantom. The victims were not only brutally murdered, but were subjected to a gruesome display of suffering. It was as if the killer reveled in the agony he inflicted, relishing in the torment of his victims. Haunted by the horrors he uncovered, Samuel worked relentlessly, driven by a sense of duty and a personal vendetta against the malevolent force that plagued his city. The enigmatic puzzle consumed him, blurring the lines between his professional detachment and the personal toll the case exacted. Night after night, the city whispered its secrets to Samuel, revealing the bloodied trail left by the Crimson Phantom. The detective realized that this was not just a hunt for justice. It was a battle to preserve the very fabric of sanity against the encroaching darkness. As the moon cast its ghostly glow over the city, Samuel stood at the precipice of understanding, ready to descend further into the abyss. The sinister dance had just begun, and the stakes were higher than ever. In the heart of the darkness, he vowed to decipher the cryptic enigma that was the Crimson Phantom, and put an end to the reign of terror that had ensnared the city. Detective Samuel Blake plunged into the abyss, chasing the elusive specter known as the Crimson Phantom through nightmarish landscapes. The trail of horror led him through grim, labyrinthine passages, where the walls seemed to close in, suffocating him with their dark secrets. The chase commenced in a forsaken underground tunnel, a damp and eerie passageway beneath the city's heart. The faint glow of flickering lights created a disorienting dance of shadows, whispering tales of dread. The detective's heart pounded in his chest, a relentless rhythm that matched the pulse of the chase. His footsteps echoed through the cold, damp air as he ventured deeper into the subterranean maze. The walls seemed to leer at him, adorned with cryptic symbols and graffiti that hinted at the killer's deranged mind. Every step was a descent into madness, a journey through the twisted corridors of a psychopath's creation. In the belly of the labyrinth, Samuel stumbled upon a hidden chamber, a grotesque lair of the Crimson Phantom. The walls were adorned with macabre trophies, ominous reminders of lives extinguished in agony. It was a chamber of horrors, where the stench of death hung heavy in the air, mingling with the coppery scent of blood. The detective's eyes widened as he examined the gruesome display. The killer reveled in his sadistic artistry, each victim a canvas upon which he painted his grotesque masterpiece. It was a glimpse into a mind consumed by malevolence, a dance with madness that sent shivers down Samuel's spine. Driven by an unyielding determination, the detective deciphered the cryptic messages scrawled on the walls. They spoke of vengeance and retribution, a manifesto of a tormented soul seeking twisted justice. The Crimson Phantom believed he was cleansing the world, eradicating its supposed impurities with a ruthless hand. As the investigation deepened, Samuel felt a suffocating realization. He was not just a hunter in this macabre game. He had become a pawn, a piece manipulated by the mastermind. The very thought sent a chill down his spine, but he pushed forward, determined to unravel the enigma and put an end to the nightmare. Following a series of cryptic clues, the detective found himself in an underground catacomb, an ancient network of tunnels beneath the city. The oppressive darkness seemed to weigh on his shoulders, yet his resolve remained unshaken. In the heart of the catacombs, he discovered a sacrilegious altar, a site of unspeakable rituals where the Crimson Phantom had left his mark. The walls bore witness to the horror, adorned with blood and symbols that defiled all that was sacred. It was a blasphemous sanctum, a testament to the depths of depravity within the killer's soul. With each revelation, Samuel's determination surged. He had ventured too far to turn back. The chasse had intensified, and he knew that confronting the Crimson Phantom was the only way to purge the city of this malevolent force. Armed with knowledge and fueled by purpose, the detective pressed on. He had become entangled in the labyrinths of the madman's mind, but he was prepared to navigate the treacherous twists and turns. The final act awaited, and Samuel steeled himself for the cataclysmic confrontation that would define the fate of the city and its battle against the encroaching darkness. The labyrinthine catacombs seemed to stretch into infinity, a twisted maze of darkness and despair. Detective Samuel Blake pushed forward, the weight of the impending confrontation with the Crimson Phantom heavy on his shoulders. Every step echoed ominously, the sound a haunting reminder of the eerie silence that enveloped the underground labyrinth. As the detective descended further into the abyss, he could feel the tension building in the air, an almost palpable malevolence. The walls seemed to close in, pressing upon him from all sides as if the very darkness conspired to suffocate him. But he pressed on, driven by a determination to end this reign of terror. In the depths of the catacombs, a flickering light danced like a distant star, a solitary beacon guiding Samuel toward his final destination. The air grew colder, the shadows darker, and the detective's senses sharpened in anticipation of the encounter that awaited him. The corridor widened into a chamber, its walls adorned with grotesque murals that depicted the atrocities committed by the Crimson Phantom. The scent of blood and decay hung thick, making each breath a struggle against the nauseating stench. And then, emerging from the shadows like a malevolent specter, stood the embodiment of the detective's nightmares, the Crimson Phantom. Clad in tattered garments, his face concealed by a grotesque mask, the killer exuded an aura of madness and sadistic pleasure. The confrontation was a clash of wills, a battle between good and the darkest depths of human depravity. The Phantom taunted Samuel with cryptic words, each sentence laced with insanity. It was a macabre dance, a struggle for survival and justice. In the heart of the chamber, the detective's gun felt heavy in his grasp. Every fiber of his being screamed to end the torment, to rid the world of this abomination. The Phantom's laughter echoed through the chamber, setting Samuel's nerves on edge, yet steeling his resolve. The battle unfolded in a storm of violence and adrenaline. The detective fought with a ferocity born of desperation and righteousness. Blow after blow, the combatants clashed, leaving scars both seen and unseen. The chamber bore witness to their struggle, a silent spectator to the grotesque ballad of blood and horror. Finally, with a decisive strike, Samuel subdued the Crimson Phantom. The masked face contorted in agony and defeat. Justice had prevailed, but the cost was steep. The detective had ventured too deep into the abyss, forever scarred by the darkness he had confronted. As he stood amidst the aftermath, the weight of the truth settled upon him. The Crimson Phantom had been a monster born of twisted convictions, a grotesque reflection of a fractured mind. Samuel had vanquished the terror, but at what price? An unexpected revelation rocked him to the core. The true extent of the malevolence that lurked in the shadows. The Phantom was not alone. Others had embraced his twisted ideology. The battle was far from over, and the detective realized that the city was entangled in a web of darkness that ran deeper than he could have ever imagined. With the last echoes of the encounter still ringing in his ears, Samuel knew that he must rise again to face the horrors that lurked in the shadows. The abyss had shown its face, and the detective understood that the true battle had just begun. A relentless war against the encroaching darkness that would test his resolve, his sanity, and the very essence of his being.